So today, we are making the most extraordinary flatbreads that not only hail from Spain, but possibly the entire world because they are that good. We're talking tortas de pan con miel y azafrán. Now this is a recipe that hails from the region of Castilla-La Mancha in the center of Spain. And what really makes these flatbreads stand out is the secret ingredient that is used, which is honey, as it gives these flatbreads a beautiful sweet and savory flavor, folks. Not only are these flatbreads super easy to make, but this is a no yeast, no bake recipe. We're gonna do it all in the stovetop, but the best part is 10 minutes of prep work. Let's begin by measuring out 1 cup of lukewarm water, which is about 240 milliliters. To heat the water, I just added it into a saucepan and heated it for a couple seconds. Then we'll pinch in a 1/4 teaspoon of saffron threads, which is 0.17 grams, give it a mix, and then set it aside. That way that saffron can infuse. As always, the saffron threads I'm using are from Golden Saffron. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. In the meantime, I'm going to add in 3 cups of all-purpose flour into a large bowl, which is 360 grams. Now to make these flatbreads, you can use other type of flours such as bread flour, whole wheat flour, or even gluten-free flour. Just use the exact same measurements. Then we'll add in 1 tablespoon of baking powder, which is 12 grams, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt, which is about 4.5 grams. And we'll give it a quick mix. That way all the dry ingredients are evenly mixed together. Then we'll make a well in the flour mixture. Add in 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, which is 30 milliliters. And 3 tablespoons of honey, which is 80 grams. You can easily veganize this recipe by using agave syrup. And let me tell you, by measuring out that extra virgin olive oil first and then the honey, it's going to ensure that the honey doesn't stick to the measuring spoon. Then we'll add in the 1 cup of saffron infused water, which once again is 240 milliliters. And we'll start mixing everything together until all the ingredients are well mixed. Once everything is well mixed and you end up with a dough-like texture, get in there with your hands by punching down on the dough and then folding it together, and continue to do this technique until you end up with a smooth dough. This is going to take between 1 to 2 minutes. And make sure as you're working the dough that you scrape up anything that's left over in the bowl. After about 2 minutes, and we've ended up with a beautiful silky dough, I'm going to shape it into a ball. Then I'm going to sprinkle a clean flat surface with some all-purpose flour. Add the ball of dough on top. Cut it in half. And we'll cut each piece of dough into 4 evenly sized pieces to end up with a total of 8 pieces of dough. Now before we start shaping our flatbreads, I'm going to start heating the pan. Now once we finish each flatbread, we can add it into the hot pan, and these flatbreads will come together within minutes. I'm going to be using a non-stick grilling pan, as I like using this because it leaves a beautiful grill mark, but you can just use a standard fry pan. Just make sure that it's non-stick. And we're going to heat it with a medium heat. Very important to use a medium heat here, nothing higher, otherwise your flatbreads are going to burn too quickly on the outside and not fully cook in the inside. While the pan is heating, let's start shaping our first flatbread. I like to do this with my hands, but if you prefer, you can totally use a roller here. And as for the shape, I'm looking for a rectangular design, but you can do whatever design you like. The most important thing is the thickness of the dough. We want it to be about a 1/4 inch thick, which is just slightly over 1/2 centimeter. Once the flatbread has been shaped, I'm going to drizzle it with a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. And we'll add it into the hot grilling pan, and we're going to go for about 90 seconds per side here on a medium heat. This is enough time for that dough to be fully cooked through. And once again, remember to add a little kiss of extra virgin olive oil over the dough before you flip it to cook the other side. In the meantime, let's start shaping our next flatbread. Once again, the design doesn't matter. The most important thing is the thickness of the dough. Once again, a 1/4 inch, which is a little over 1/2 centimeter. And as you finish each flatbread, transfer it into a serving dish. And continue to make and cook your flatbreads in this technique until they're all done. From this recipe, you should end up with 8 flatbreads. Once all the flatbreads are cooked, our dish is ready to go. Check it out, our tortas de pan con miel y azafrán are done. A beautiful recipe from the region of Castilla-La Mancha. Easy to make, just a handful of ingredients, and the flavors are sweet and savory and everything in between. Let's give one of them a try and see how it turned out. All right, folks, like I told you in the beginning, in my opinion, this is one of the best flatbreads in the world. Let's see if that statement stands. Look at that. Incredible. We didn't use yeast, but it still has a beautiful pillowy texture, and it's for the flavors, that honey that's not overpowering with the saffron truly. An explosion of so much flavors. You saw this, just a handful of ingredients, 10 minutes to put together. Give these flatbreads a try at home, and I promise they're gonna completely drive you wild because they are that good. Really quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, David Anthony, Jean, Maybeth Robles, William Judd, and Manuel J. Rosales. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on the Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego. Viva Castilla-La Mancha. This is a very unknown recipe. Dang, that's good.